I have the new e.l.f. Soft Glow Satin Foundation. It's a brand new release by e.l.f. It is only $8. 1 fluid ounce. I still can't believe it's only $8. But this looks like a combination skin type foundation dream. It's a buildable, very lightweight coverage, and it's supposed to give you that beautiful satin finish, but it's supposed to feel like your skin, not cakey, not heavy, and it's a long wearing formula. So let's review it together. And of course, I'm doing the full day wear test. Let's apply it. Did I say this was only $8? I picked up 2 shades. I picked up 20, which is light cool, and then I picked up a fair shade, number 13, fair neutral. I love the squeezy tube. I mean, it's so convenient. Ooh, okay, it has a thicker formula, but it still feels nice and lightweight. It doesn't smell like anything at all. Almost peach. It's good. I think it'll work. And I already have my skin prepped. They don't recommend to use a primer. I'm sure if you are an avid primer user, you probably will want to. But as of right now, I'm just gonna try it like this. I'm just taking a fluffy brush just to work this into my skin in areas where I tend to apply the foundation. And then just work it to the outer portion of my skin right here in the face where I apply blush and bronzer. You can see how easy that applies. Again, this is a medium buildable coverage. So I think if you like, you know, glam type of foundations, you could probably really build this up to a medium full coverage. But I think for the summertime, I will probably really enjoy this. See up close how this is blending in. Okay. I'm not applying this really heavily, this new soft glam foundation, but I am going to apply a little bit more, especially right here, because I feel like it looks a little bit, not patchy, but I feel like the coverage is not even. But for the amount that I applied, it looks like my skin, but look at the difference. It's color corrected. It still looks very, very natural. And I don't see this, like the foundation sitting on top of my skin. It's not exaggerating the peach fuzz. As of right now, this is really, really, really beautiful. Again, I'm only focusing in areas where, like if I would do underpainting, this is kind of where I would place it. I'm gonna place it on the rest of my face. And I wanna see if it's still going to be very easy to blend. It has like time to sit, you know? Texture of this is really nice. I mean, you can see right away how easy it is to blend out. Wow. And this is the Smashbox, the blurring foundation brush. I like this type of a brush because it's not really, really dense. It's a little more fluffy than, let's say, like my Rose and Ben. This one's extremely dense. This one is a lot more fluffy. All right, in areas where I applied it and it's kind of been sitting on my skin, no issues blending it out. I'm impressed with the blendability as of right now. I'm gonna take whatever is left in the back of my hand, work it into my brush, and then just go in areas where I have a couple of these breakouts around my mouth. Just set everything further with the application and the finish of the new e.l.f. Soft Glam Satin Finish Foundation. It is really beautiful. And I think this is a true satin finish. It's not dewy, it's not borderline natural, and it's not matte. When I think of satin, I think of soft matte foundations because they still look like your skin. They kind of mimic whatever skincare or however you prepped your skin. That's when I think of soft matte or satin foundations. It doesn't feel tacky. It doesn't feel like a matte foundation where it feels tight. I am pretty impressed with the finish of this. Especially for my combination skin, I'm really hoping it's going to translate throughout the day and not get very oily very fast. So we're hoping for a great wear test today. I like the color as of right now, but I'm hoping it's not going to oxidize because I feel like if it oxidizes, it might pull a little too peachy, but we'll see. Let's apply the rest of my makeup. I'm going to probably stick with mostly all drugstore today. Milani Cheek Kiss Cream Bronzer. I'm taking shade Hey Honey. e.l.f. Liquid Camo Blushes. I'm mixing 2 shades, Coral Crush and Dusty Rosé. For concealer, L'Oreal True Match Radiant Serum Concealer. For lip, I'm applying ColourPop So Juicy Plumping Lip Liner in shade Westwood. paired with their So Juicy, their plumping glossy balm in shade Vacay Mode. I think I'm gonna set my under eyes just a tad because this is a little more radiant and I wanna make sure, you know, my concealer doesn't go anywhere. I'm just gonna use my e.l.f. the Halo setting powder, the Halo Glow setting powder in pink. I'm going to use a tiny bit though. No issues applying the rest of my makeup on top of the new e.l.f. Soft Glam Satin Foundation. It's just a beautiful finish. It's looking really lovely with my skin. It's looking lovely with the rest of the makeup. I will say one thing, now that I kind of been sitting here like under the lights, it's a little warm in here. I kind of want to say my forehead's looking a little glowy, but it's not feeling glowy, it's not feeling oily, it's not feeling shiny and just like heavy. It just looks very natural on my skin. Of course, the rest of the review is the wear test of the new e.l.f. Soft Glam Foundation, and I'm really curious how it's going to wear with my combination skin. Let's go the rest of the day and see how well this new e.l.f. Soft Glam Foundation wears. Because as of right now, she's beautiful and I love her. 3 hours into the new e.l.f. Soft Glam Satin Foundation. This is what we look like. I think we're looking good. My pores are starting to look pretty enlarged. I don't have huge pores, but I find that because you know, I have a very oily T-zone, it likes to break apart the foundation. And when it breaks apart the foundation, it looks like I have a ton of texture on my skin and my pores look really extra enlarged and so forth. But this is what the texture of the skin looks like. I think overall it's looking good. I'm happy with it, but I'm not obsessed with it. I asked Andre and he's like, okay, for an $8 foundation, I think your makeup looks great. I'm just gonna set with a little bit of my Laura Mercier, the Ultra Blur. I'm going to use that on the forehead and I wanna set right here. And I'm also feeling my skin, and my skin just feels like I have like moisturizer on. It doesn't feel dry. It doesn't feel like a matte foundation, and it doesn't really look like a matte foundation anymore at this point. So shiny T-zone. I'm just going to soften that, like I said, with the Laura Mercier, the Ultra Blur setting powder. You can already see a difference. Softer, and the pores are not as visible as on the left side. Happy with the way it's looking. I'll see you guys in a little bit. 6 hours in total. I was trying to see if I noticed like the color, if I'm oxidizing. I don't think I am, if anything. No, I don't think I am. I'm looking glowy, but when I touch, it doesn't feel really oily or I need to touch up with powder. If anything, I would just take some blotting sheets at this point. I still see the blush, I still see the bronzer. It's not disappearing along with my foundation. So as of right now, the e.l.f. Soft Glam Satin Foundation is wearing good. I think the pores are starting to come through just a tad, but they're not as noticeable as they were around the three hour mark. This foundation is very light on the skin. I did apply thin layer, so it's not looking heavy on the skin, but I'm happy with the coverage and how the foundation is wearing down. It's just around the 3 hour mark. The pores, it looked like I had a lot of texture going on with my skin the way it was wearing. It looked pretty uneven, especially in the T-zone compared to the rest of my face. I hope that was making sense, but I think right now I like it. 11 plus hours, and I'm gonna end it here. So 2 things with the new e.l.f., the Soft Glam Satin Foundation. If you have very oily skin, I would definitely prep the skin and maybe add like a mattifying primer. And of course, setting the foundation in those areas where you are very oily and your foundation tends to break apart and move and just disappear. So for me, moving forward, I will definitely put a little bit more thought and like care, like, you know, just setting my face a little bit more throughout the day, blotting, in areas where, you know, my skin does get very oily. And then number 2, if you have dry skin, like very dry skin, or you have dry areas, because most of the time I have a pretty big problem area around my mouth. And I was looking and this foundation's not, like there's some spots that you can kind of see the foundation sitting on top of those dry areas. The formula is very lightweight and also depends on how much you apply, but it looks good. So I feel like if you have very dry skin, prep your skin, really focus on your skincare, and then use a hydrating primer underneath. But I still think you will enjoy this foundation if you do have very dry skin. It's an $8 foundation. It's pretty rare, especially nowadays, even for drugstore brands to come out with a foundation with 1 fluid ounce under $10. It's very rare. So I think e.l.f., they did a phenomenal job. I definitely like this better than their CC cream that they came out with. you know, maybe what, a couple years ago. I think that was like their last like foundation product, tint product, but soft glam foundation. I think you'll really enjoy it. It's very affordable for a foundation. It's just, yeah, I am pretty impressed. So like I said, this is at the very end of the day. I mean, there's definitely wear, there's definitely foundation where it has come off, like around my mouth, around my nose, on the forehead, but I think overall, pretty impressed with the way this foundation has been wearing on my skin all day long for a $8 foundation. I'm gonna keep wearing this foundation with different base products, primers, and so forth to see like some of my favorite combinations. But I'm gonna end it here. Thank you for watching and spending time with me and this new e.l.f. the Soft Glam Satin Foundation, and I'll see the next one very soon.